Welcome to the deep dive. You send us your sources, and we extract the crucial insights. Today, we're venturing into a document called MineTXC Glossy Booklet v7.pdf. Our aim, really, is to dissect the core ideas and the fundamental mission driving Texacoin straight from their own foundational document.
Precisely. We're taking a direct route, focusing only on the stated purpose and vision of Texacoin as they articulated in this booklet.
Okay, let's jump right into it then. The booklet kicks things off with a pretty bold declaration, doesn't it? A new chapter for crypto and this idea of honest money.
Yeah, it does. It immediately asks you to stop and think, have we just accepted traditional money without really questioning it? Issues like inflation, for example.
Right. Have we taken it all too much for granted? That seems to be the underlying question.
And what's interesting is how they bring Bitcoin into it almost immediately. They frame it as the catalyst, the thing that started this global money conversation.
So Bitcoin showed it was possible. It got people thinking about alternatives.
Exactly. It incentivized people to reconsider the whole financial system, not just tech, but a whole new way to think about currency.
And it's clearly not just about the technology for them, is it? I mean, the booklet keeps coming back to the importance of community for Texacoin.
Oh, absolutely. Right from the start, there's this invitation, this call to become a miner and join what they call a revolutionary journey together.
It feels like they see that community aspect as, well, essential for something this ambitious.
It's portrayed as a collective effort. The strength isn't just in the code, it's in the people participating in the network.
Okay, so let's talk about how they describe crypto itself. The booklet calls it a paradigm shift. That's a strong term.
It is. And they back it up by highlighting what they see as its core advantages. Unprecedented scarcity, authenticity, simplicity, and trustlessness.
Let's maybe unpack those a bit. Scarcity seems straightforward enough, a fixed supply, unlike fiat.
Right, that's their main argument against inflation. Texacoin has a fixed supply and transparent issuance, which they contrast directly with, central banks printing more money.
And authenticity, that relates to the blockchain tech itself.
Yeah, the cryptographic verification.
Yeah.
Makes it basically impossible to counterfeit, according to the booklet. Simplicity likely refers to the peer-to-peer nature, cutting out middlemen.
And trustlessness.
That you don't need to trust a central authority. The system runs on cryptographic proof, not on, say, trusting a bank.
Okay. And they really hammer home that anti-inflation point. They explicitly say inflation breaks the promise of stable value.
Precisely. Their solution, or proposed solution, is this fixed cap supply and the transparency, where you can see new TXC being created. It's designed to prevent that kind of devaluation.
They do give Bitcoin its due, acknowledging it paved the way, proved the concept of decentralized money.
They acknowledge that foundation, but then they pivot to differentiate Texacoin.
How so? What's a specific niche they're carving out for Texacoin?
Well, they label Bitcoin digital gold, right, for storing value. But Texacoin, they say, is designed as a digital currency for the marketplace.
Ah, okay. So the emphasis shifts towards actual use, like day-to-day transactions.
Exactly. Fast transactions, fair distribution, and really being used for buying and selling stuff. That's the focus they articulate.
Less about hoarding, more about circulating.
That seems to be the idea. And underpinning all this is that concept of transparency at its core.
Right, the public blockchain. Every transaction, every new coin created is out there for anyone to see.
They present that as key to eliminating fraud and manipulation. Building trust not through an institution, but through that open ledger. It ties back to their statement that a currency is a promise, and they believe transparency helps restore that promise.
Okay, so that sets the stage. Then the booklet lays out what it calls the recipe for success. 3 key ingredients.
Yep, 3 things. A powerful and trustworthy mine, a thriving and energized community, and an active marketplace.
Let's take those one by one. The Texas mine, what's its role described as?
It's called the backbone of trust. Its job isn't just making new coins, but crucially, verifying all the transactions and keeping the network secure.
And the community is directly involved in funding this mine, right?
Yeah, that seems central.
Yeah.
It fosters this sense of shared ownership and responsibility for the core infrastructure.
Then the community itself. The growth strategy seems very grassroots. Word of mouth, aiming for 1 million people.
That's the plan outlined. Organic growth, creating a network of users who are also advocates, driven by belief in the project.
And the third ingredient, the active marketplace. Why is that so important according to them?
Because that's where the currency's promise actually comes alive, through people using it to buy and sell real goods and services. Without that active exchange, it's just potential.
It's where the rubber meets the road, so to speak.
Exactly. It validates its use as a medium of exchange. And they mentioned this goal of becoming a top 100 crypto, which implies a pretty significant level of marketplace activity.
The booklet spends a lot of time talking about the miner. It seems like being a miner is more than just running software.
Oh, definitely. They frame it as a vital role that includes actively participating in the economy, buying, selling, trading TXC, helping create that thriving marketplace.
So active participation is key. It's not passive.
Not at all. They also stress the miner's responsibility, urging everyone to keep your TXC safe. Secure wallets, being vigilant against scams, that's highlighted.
That makes sense. Security is always a huge concern in crypto.
And they're putting the onus on the user to be educated and careful, which fits that community-centric, self-reliant theme.
They also really push miners to spread the word, right? There's a referral program mentioned.
Yeah, that word-of-mouth strategy is backed by incentives. The referral program is presented as a key tool for growing the community, creating that network effect.
More users mean more value for everyone in the network. Classic strategy.
Exactly. And then there are the rewards.
Right, the daily TXC rewards. How are those framed?
As compensation for the miner's role in securing the mine and maintaining the whole ecosystem, it's a way to distribute new coins and incentivize that ongoing participation.
And miners can use those rewards flexibly. Spend them, trade them, hold them.
The booklet highlights that flexibility. Plus, there are other incentive structures mentioned.
Like the 1-2 free affiliate bonus.
Yeah, that one seems aimed at increasing your own mining power by bringing new people in.
And the binary team building strategy. That sounds more like network marketing.
It does. It's described as a way to earn cash commissions based on the growth of the team you build, adding another layer of financial incentive for recruitment and network expansion.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. The booklet gets into the bigger picture, the sort of philosophical underpinnings. It connects Texacoin to the American spirit.
It really does. Freedom, liberty, independence, self-reliance, especially within a Texas context. It even brings up historical empires and suggests the U.S. might be in decline, positioning Texas as a response.
That's quite a statement. So Texas isn't just about Texas leaving the U.S., in their view.
Well, they define Texas explicitly as an exit from tyranny. It's framed much broader than just state secession. Texacoin itself is called a beacon of economic freedom.
Wow, okay. That's very deliberate branding.
Extremely deliberate. It aims to resonate with a specific mindset focused on independence and resisting perceived overreach. It definitely elevates the project beyond just being another crypto.
And they boil down the mission to 3 words: fun, community, and profit.
Yeah, those are presented as interconnected pillars. Fun makes it engaging, community provides support and shared purpose, and profit represents the potential for financial independence, all tied into personal freedom.
And values. They list transparency, character, and honesty.
They put a strong emphasis on those, likely to build trust and differentiate themselves in a space that, let's be honest, sometimes struggles with reputation issues.
Highlighting ethical conduct seems like a conscious choice.
Absolutely. It's about building credibility.
Finally, the booklet introduces the founder, Bobby Gray. What context do they give?
They mention his background in alternative currencies, gold, silver, copper coins.
Yeah.
So he's apparently been interested in non-traditional money for a while.
Okay, so it's not entirely out of the blue for him.
Seems not.
Yeah.
They also pinpoint the date the first TXT coin block was mined January 26, 2024 in McKinney, Texas. Gives it a concrete starting point.
And there's a letter from the founder. What's the takeaway from that?
Well, he acknowledges he's relatively new to crypto and network marketing specifically, but expresses real conviction in the mission.
Sets a high bar too, right? Aiming for the top 5 cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, very ambitious goal. He essentially pledges to be a good steward of the community's trust, which is obviously crucial if you're asking people to invest time and resources.
So wrapping this up, our dive into this TXC booklet, their mission control manual, shows a really detailed and ambitious vision.
Definitely. It's presented as much more than just code. It's a movement, they'd argue, towards honest money, economic freedom, built heavily on community and transparency.
With a clear goal of disrupting the status quo.
Precisely. The whole document hammers home this idea of an alternative system, driven by its users, the miners, grounded in those specific principles we've discussed.
So here's a final thought for you, the listener. Thinking about everything laid out in this document, the specific vision from Texacoin's own manual, what single aspect of their mission stands out most to you? And perhaps more importantly, Why might that particular element be significant for the future of decentralized currencies more broadly? Something to mull over. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.